My name is Brenda Kehlhofer, and this is my submission for Equine 198, stall cleaning. Behind me, you'll see where we keep all of our tools. Up on the racks, tines in. Over to this side, you can see that just past our feed area, I have our wheelbarrows and our buckets stored. As you walk around, these are going to be the stalls that I'm working with. Today, we're going to work with Rhea. She is an Arabian mare. And then out this direction is our pasture. So before I get started, the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and move Rhea. Rhea's out of the way. We're going to go ahead and get on with the stall cleaning. The first thing I need to do to clean the stall is get my water bucket out of the way. I'm not strong enough, obviously, to pick it up, and I don't want to dump it here in our stall or in our walkway. So I'll take my lead rope, grab it like that. Okay, so here I am back in Rhea's stall. Water's dumped. Feed bowl has been removed. I do have a hanging slow feeder. We actually only just put some grains in here because she'll throw hers on the ground, and I don't necessarily want her eating out of those. So there is no food in here right now, but I'm going to cover it just so that the bottom of it isn't filled with manure overspray. I grabbed my wheelbarrow. I use muck buckets because we dispose of our manure outside in the front in a dumpster. So away. For me, it's much easier to use these buckets. I'm going to go ahead and begin with picking up all the large manure. Here's my manure fork. I like the one with the big basket here. Makes for much easier cleaning. So we have chickens, free-range chickens that do run around, and they're pretty good at picking apart manure. So we do get a lot of small debris in here, and do have to, as you can see, there's some dust towards the back there where the chickens get into it. Not so much in the front. Our horses these three at least spend most of their time in the front of the stall, and they pile their manure back here towards the backs of the stall, and they don't do too much stepping and stomping and all that on it. So they are due for stripping. We typically will strip them 3 to 4 times a year, quarterly. Waiting right now on another shipment of bedding so that we can do so. You'll see when we do get to the bedding pile that we're definitely too low to strip. And we'll usually do all of them at once. Now, we do have one stall, Cheyenne's, that does require it a little more often because she likes to pace in her stall. So she gets hers pretty moved around and dirty, and it's not as easy to stay on top of. Usually kind of rake through this and see what comes up from underneath like that, because there always seems to be something that comes up from underneath, at least here towards the back, not so much in the front. But that also helps me to kind of level this area out a bit. She's got a couple spots she loves to roll in that create some unevenness, and of course the spot she stands in. So Chickens are certainly great for cutting down on fly larvae and stuff like that, but they do make it so some of the manure gets buried for sure. All right, and so I do always try to move this out a bit so that this is even where her water bowl is. And while Rhea takes the time to go all the way to the back to poo, she sits and pees right here by her water and food. So I can pull all the dry bedding away. Right there. And you'll see her wet spot. So I use, because it's so hard to pull out the wet bedding, the wood chips, I still use my fork. It's actually harder with the shovel. I've tried. You'd think the shovel would be great, but it doesn't really, it isn't as helpful as one would think. So I'm going to pull all this wet bedding out, go down a few inches. Of course, we have a dirt base, so you're never going to get down to concrete. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and grab some PDZ, dump that in that spot, and let it sit to dry for a bit. I'm going to allow that to dry open while we dump out all of the manure. You'll see I put my rake over here, tines down. I'm going to come back and use it here in a few minutes. And we're going to go ahead and take this out to the front area. All right, so we're going to go ahead. Got that through. Let's make sure we close the gates. All the horses are secure, but you can never be too careful. Now I pull right up to this edge. I've got a nice lip. Sometimes I'll, when this side gets full, I'll put it on the other side. All right, so now we're gonna grab our bedding. I already uncovered the tarp. So we have this delivered to us. Okay, so in the hot Arizona sun, we've had plenty of time for our pea spot to dry off. I'm just going to go ahead and spread this. All right, there you go. Our nice clean bed. I'm going to go ahead and bring that water bottle up for you. And refill it. Then we'll get Rhea back in the stall.